Bulavinaka, and welcome to the season finale of the Pacific Way. What an amazing journey it has been. The Republic of Palau is famous for its beautiful rock islands and diverse underwater seascape, which attracts many tourists. But like many tropical islands, diseases carried by mosquitoes and other insects affect the community, causing malaria, dengue fever, and other diseases. Since 2019, the European Union funded Global Climate Change Alliance Plus Scaling Up Pacific Adaptation Project has been working with national agencies and partners in Palau to address some of the environmental health issues impacted by climate change.
To prevent disease outbreaks carried by mosquitoes and other insects, we need to work together to keep the environment clean.
So we need to share the same mindset, yeah? Like, please keep the environment, please keep the household, please keep the community clean all the time.
The Republic of Palau is located in the northwest tropical Pacific and is famous for its beautiful rock islands and diverse underwater seascape, which attracts many tourists. But like many tropical islands, diseases carried by mosquitoes and other insects affect the community.
Vector-borne disease has threatened the livelihood of the residents of Palau in many ways. But I will point out two things. For water, access to safe and clean water. Number two, lack of clean water can result in foodborne illnesses. Vector-borne disease is a recurrent climate-related problem in Palau.
Since 2019, the European Union-funded Global Climate Change Alliance Plus Scaling Up Pacific Adaptation Project has been working with national agencies and partners in Palau to address some of the environmental health issues impacted by climate change. In Palau, the project is scaling up previous efforts by the government and other partners to prevent water and vector-borne diseases. The project is helping communities in 5 states and the island of Bubbledob to monitor their community environment and reduce the incidence of vector-borne diseases such as malaria and dengue fever. Residents of Bubbledob are mainly self-employed, so an outbreak of dengue fever reduces their income, since the parents or one of the parents has to stay home to recover or care for their sick child. Added to this, if a child is sick, then he or she will miss school. With the support of the project, the Division of Environmental Health in Palau is adapting a specific and personal approach to reduce the vulnerability of communities to waterborne and vector-borne diseases in 5 states on the main island of Bubbledob. Between July and August 2021, a team from the Division of Environmental Health visited 264 households to do walkarounds with families and help identify breeding grounds for mosquitoes and other disease-carrying animals. Hygienic and sanitary conditions in each household were also assessed. Potential breeding sites for mosquitoes, such as tires and empty containers left around the yard area, were identified. In the past, communities used to do monthly or weekly cleanup campaigns.
Before they used to have this community work, they call it rural blue. And I think we should go back to that scenario. We plan like a regular community cleanup campaign every month or every twice a month. Before we have a few type of these vector-borne diseases, not like today. We need to have a good means of segregation of all the trusts, to segregate what kind of trusts to go for the public tap and which one is go for recycling and reuse. So we try to minimize those type of trusts that could be potential and actual breeding places for vector.
It is hoped that the project will help restart such action on a regular basis.
Any other places in the world where people always neglect there's like around the house, so always that thing that they become the problem of the mosquito breeding site, like a plastic container, any container, plastic or metal container, and even the tires. This is a very top 3, like a very common breeding site that we always need to remind the household that they need to dispose, or at least they need to properly put the storage, like for example the tires, because tires is a very effective breeding site because of the design of the tire and also the color, because the dark color are the one also going to attract the mosquito to lay the egg. Everyone needs to cooperate in order for us to prevent an outbreak to happen. So we need to have this, share the same mindset, like please keep the environment, please keep the household, please keep the community clean all the time.
The results of the assessment have shown that one of the main actions is for households to keep their yards clean and to remove empty containers, tires, and to drain pools of standing water. This and other information about water and vector-borne diseases and ways communities can minimize their risks to their health was shared at separate town hall meetings in the 5 states in November 2021. With the support of the project, water quality monitoring equipment, kits and chemicals have also been supplied to the Division of Environmental Health for training in vector control and management at state level.
So this project actually aims to build on these small-scale projects that were successful, that built resilience on the island. But more importantly, it's just not to build up, but also to sustain it through behavior change. How can we continue this program after the life cycle of the project? And this project, it's a long-term vision. Although it's funded by EU for about approximately 2.5 years, but the outlook is long-term. And the only way to achieve the long-term is actually changing people's behavior, how they practice.
Combined with education, awareness, and regular monitoring activities, the project plans to create a lasting change, such that people adopt a new model of behavior that will reduce the negative impact of climate change and variability on their health and well-being.
Thank you for watching The Pacific Way. In this final segment, we travel to the exotic islands of the Lau Group, which lies to the east of Fiji's mainland. The Lau Seascape covers an area of 335,000 square kilometers and represents over a quarter of Fiji's ocean. As part of the inaugural Lau Seascape Yaumbula Festival, Conservation International launched its short documentary showcasing the rich biodiversity and cultural richness of the Lau Islands.
Our islands are among the most beautiful places on Earth. With pristine coral reefs and tropical forests. Our people have lived here in harmony with nature for over 1,000 years. All life depends on this delicate balance. But climate change and unsustainable practices are tipping the scales. We must act now to protect our way of life.
Lau Seascape strategy is a vision that has been birthed and led by the indigenous chiefs and local communities of Lau. Lau consists of about 17 islands, 13 districts, a population of about 9,600 residents, which is just under 1% of Fiji's total population. So it looks to protecting the natural ecosystem, which is unique but very fragile in Lau, but also considering the importance that production is an element of survival for the livelihoods of the people that are in Lau. So it is a balancing act of protecting ecosystems and ensuring that they also rely on these healthy ecosystems to produce and also to meet their livelihoods and sustainable aspirations for the communities in Lau.
Lau Seascape o kenda tau sara na bola kaumbula na loma nia sano lau. Na vi anu na vi kau ke na kaki denga e bola vikenda. E wili na vinga ravi. Ni alo ni loloma roni botoka. Non reto na turang ni non tu bonua. Merto botoka ya taka kina na taka bimbingo me marro kina na vono lau. Kasenga ni baka ni baka tambakin dua kina dona tikina si dona kau si dona manmanu. Me botai tu sara. Na taka bimbingo na non ta tango makana non ta yombula mera rawata talenga kina na tiko bina ko irana lupenta. Ya na bising ni mata.
Pinakamana titi miwai sa ansar na mga tatambo sa doon ka na libo-libo ni tulo mataburo kaya na ngoniwa dan na rin nga na unair kel-kel to nambot to sa napuno sa iya lako tayo may pura tayo may liba ito na puno tambo sa libsar.
A key theme that is also critical in terms of the delivery of the strategies and opportunity to address climate shocks, to think across the climate change lenses. What is happening to the natural ecosystem? How are the stocks, the fishery stocks are being impacted? How the habitats are changing? How the people that rely on these resources are adjusting and are surviving in an era where climate change is becoming a reality. So the projects and the activities and interventions that are being, designed and planned and delivered across the Lau province, across all of the 5 clusters, are geared towards building a more robust climate resilience and adequately providing adaptation to the climate change shocks that not only the communities but the natural ecosystems and habitats would face, not only now but in the years to come.
IUCN was part of the Lau Seascape initiative since I think we really got involved in 2019. The Vanua Lau and Masini Vanua, they wanted more information on this, and so from there CI engaged IUCN again to do a specific technical report for Lau. Coming into 2022, they're like, get on the board with us and go and talk about it in the communities. And so you can see the continued progress and growth of the partnership. It wasn't just a one-off, come and talk about it and leave. We talked about it, we did somewhat research and analysis, and now we're out here talking about it in communities with the Lau Seascape initiative partners, and that's awesome.
On the 31st of March 2022, we celebrated the renewal of a Memorandum of Understanding across the Lau Seascape partners. So it has completed 3 years of an MOU between partners, started with 8 partners that was working towards implementing the Lau Seascape strategy. We have increased the number of partners that have signed on to the MOU, so we now have about 12, and it continues to grow. The Lau Seascape partners are very excited that this vision that began more than 10 years ago is not only within the circles that had started this vision, but they continue to grow and expand and continue to bring in new partners to deliver the strategy and the goals that have been identified. The Lau Seascape partners work have allowed the partners to completely set foot on all of the 72 villages in Lau. It is quite a milestone. Lau is not an easy feat to be able to to work in. It is not only rural, it's far, it's just isolated. The transportation is very difficult. So collectively, partners have worked towards making sure that the strategy becomes a reality. So as of December in 2021, we are proud to say that the partners have completed most of their economic and social targets and livelihoods that we have completed. Much of the restoration and ecological targets continuing to be completed at above 80% implementation rate. So we've really come great strides in terms of where the partnership and where we continue to see that 7 years is still a realistic timeline. We certainly can deliver the Lau Seascape strategy until 2030, and we'd like to continue to invite new partners.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm really glad that we in Mabana have sort of adopted the concepts that are being preached by the Lau Seascape. I have seen quite a lot of improvements in what is happening in the village. In the leadership role, that is really an area where it was lacking before. But now, the Turangani Matangalis and the Livelihoods, they know exactly what their role is.
Nakau maro taka kin Lau Seascape ngon sa dur tal tengah me kena kentang bani maramai sa kimi mi sot tiko kimi bararam tai tiko sono veulutang kimi sami bararam tai kin sarungo ditalngan anda mo kimami kimi ma bulikin niko kimi somitaro naka kimi maro tangana maram ni sarungo tal tengana ni mami bakatutu sana kau da kitiu kibertona ya sana.
The Lau Seascape strategy articulates 10 big goals. 3 are addressing livelihood targets. The other 7 goals speaks to ecological goals. But if I can speak to the livelihood targets, this is addressing food security. It also speaks to the opportunities that Lau has, livelihood and market aspirations, the wealth of seafood, and opportunities to have natural foods that are in the Lau province, not only from the fisheries but also from forestry, also from the opportunities to showcase crops and agriculture. So these are all have been identified. We have specific targets that are addressing opportunities to connect market pathways from Lau to the mainland of Viti Levu. This is an opportunity to identify sustainable fisheries production, sustainable agricultural, and of course forestry products that can be also moved from Lau, from the islands, and also to the mainland. Opportunities for them to create jobs. So, one would know once we move into conservation, the discussion and the consultation, the conversation of protection and conservation has an element that you need to consider the direct needs of the users of today.
What is happening in the world today? What is happening in the village today? All what we need is a bit of money in your pocket and having a good life in the village, because everything seems to be free. Hopefully that the Lau Seascape can develop this further so that it becomes an economic arm of development within the village situation, so that we can compete effectively with the business people who are running the shows in towns and cities. If we can do that, yes, then really that's the way to go. But the beauty about it is that you're bringing in culture, tradition, the environment, and the people to all work together. It's now proving that it can be done.
There are many opportunities to continue to improve in terms of the work that the Lau Seascape partners and also conservationists continue to do across the provinces in Fiji. We continue to realize that there is an opportunity to have stronger conservation measures and interventions once the areas that have been identified to be protected and conserved are somewhat recognized legally. That is an opportunity because of the many multi-sectoral interests, multi-stakeholder interests that we all have in terms of our natural ecosystems, the use of these ecosystems and stocks. An opportunity that CI and the partnership in Lau is intending to progress is the opportunity to recognize and designate these biodiversity areas that are key. It gives a little bit more strength in protection. It identifies the conditions of use, if any. It provides the scope. It provides fees and revenues and conditions of breach. So this is an opportunity that we feel is required, for ensuring that conservation efforts that are done now can properly sustain itself into perpetuity.
And that's a wrap. It has been an honor to reconnect with our Pacific brothers and sisters over the course of this season. We have come a long way as a region, and the team have truly enjoyed capturing stories that really matter to our Pacific people. We continue to battle climate change. We have come together as a community to advocate for our women and empower our girls. That is truly the Pacific Way. You can check out all our videos and episodes on the Pacific Community YouTube channel and the Pacific Way Facebook page. Make sure to click the like button and follow us as we prepare for a brand new season of the Pacific Way. My name is Patricia Naisara, and from the Pacific Way crew and I, au revoir, mahalo, and ni sa mote.